Hello, Hill Country family. My name is Matt Sally. I'm the media assistant here at the church. And I'm sitting here today. I'm joined with our brand new lead pastor, Korey Buchanek. Korey, how you doing?
I'm fantastic. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. Today, we're going to be taking the opportunity to sit down with him and get to know Korey a little bit better. We're going to be really diving deep, trying to hit at the heart of who Korey is. We'll just go hardest question first. Korey, what kind of music do you listen to?
Totally eclectic. I have moments where there is no doubt I have my worship phase, but I'll be honest too, there's some country moments in there, and there's some old 80s that I think comes back every now and then that find themselves on my playlist. So pretty eclectic for the most part.
Old 80s, like who do you go for?
See, now you're going to get back in there in that DeGarmo and Key, and even a little Carmen found its way into my list this last week with Satan Bite the Dust, and it was my son was introduced for the first time to Carmen, and he didn't quite know what to do with that. But yeah, there's a whole bunch back there in the 80s with DeGarmo and Key and Brian Duncan, and there's some oldies that I still go back and listen to.
Okay, nice. So a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Nice. Good answer. You passed. We're going to do the classic deserted island. You're going to a deserted island. We're going to say you've got your family there. You've got, food, water, shelter. Hey, I mean, you do what you have to do. You do what you have to do. But food, water, and shelter, that you definitely have. You get to pick 3 things to bring.
Okay.
What are you going to bring?
There's no doubt, because I do love music. There's got to be something that's going to give me access to some tunes. I gotta have a playlist going. Outside my music, there's got to be a live feed somehow to get a Texas Longhorn football game. I mean, so because I don't miss many snaps from my Longhorn days, so I really enjoy watching college football, and so some way to catch that, even on a deserted island, I'd still think that'd be an important feature for me to have. And
I feel like that's the best way to watch it, is picking your feet up on the sand.
Right. As long as my kids aren't right there with me, I'm good. And so I just, so I think the third thing is, do I get DoorDash while I'm there? Because I'm a foodie. I've got to have a different taste every now and then of something. So
I'm going to let you have a plane, fly in some DoorDash, but you have to pick one place to order from.
Oh, well, so I've been introduced to a couple of things here locally, and I have to say Mikey V's was pretty solid. It was a good introduction, and so I thoroughly enjoyed that. I know Scratch 2020, I think that was a hit as well. So there's been a number of things that I've had for the first time since being here.
Okay.
It's excellent. Really good stuff.
All right. Yeah. Well, dude, that actually leads into my next question. So I was going to see, since you've been in town, you've gotten to see some of the local spots. Is there a spot that you've noticed that, okay, like this one deserves the hype? People are talking about this and it's actually worth it?
And I think one of those, the downtown square there in downtown Georgetown, with where Mikey V's is and all around there, there's so much to check out in there. But also kind of digging the idea of the big store. With a special needs kiddo, the idea that they're utilizing special needs adults to help run that organization, and just seeing how they're doing that with excellence, I love the idea. And so my wife, I think, could spend a lot of money in there if I left her to be, but a really cool store that I thought was kind of a unique recommendation to us that we found. And so 600 degrees downtown there. Just come on, man. Yeah.
That was my first job.
There you go.
I was a dishwasher.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, just a number of little hole in the walls right there that you wouldn't imagine are as good as they really are, and they're worth the hype.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. So overall, a good experience.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, let's go.
Totally.
Well, speaking of that move from California, how long did you live in California?
We were there a little over 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And so had you been to Texas that much beforehand, or is this kind of your first time coming down here?
Grew up in Dallas-Fort Worth and Keller, Texas. And then my dad took a church my sophomore, junior year in outside of Kingwood, Humble area. So I went to New Caney High School for my sophomore, junior year. Okay. Then moved out to the panhandle of Oklahoma, to Fargo, Oklahoma, where I spent my senior year of high school. And so that kind of led to the opportunity to step onto the campus at Oklahoma Baptist University, where I'd spend the next 4 years. I'd meet my wife there. Her and I would graduate together and start our family planting churches there in Denver, Colorado. Okay. And so that was kind of our heartbeat to step out into after graduation. And so, like I say, spent most of my young life in Dallas-Fort Worth. Most of my family now in either the Longview-Tyler area. I've got a sister and brother-in-law in Houston as well, still there in the New Caney area. So a lot of ties, a lot of roots here that we hope to be able to join to the roots that currently exist and see what the Lord's going to do. Okay,
there you go. So between Texas and California, you'd say you're well versed in both. You know the areas, you've been in each. So I'm sure you've heard there's a lot of beef between Texas and California, especially when it comes to drivers. Being a man who knows both, you might have to settle it for us all. Who has the worst drivers? Is it Texas or
There's
California?
the worst drivers. I'm going to say California has the worst drivers. Texas has the worst parkers.
Oh,
I'm like, can you not park straight
Listen to the
in
man.
a parking spot?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. And you have the longest traffic signals ever.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not used to sitting for 2 minutes at a stoplight, you know. So, but I'm like, hey, whatever it takes for people to cross the road, right?
Yeah.
You know, so, but no, the traffic we experienced in California was significantly worse.
Oh yeah.
But I have not made my way into Austin too much at this point. But I hear that I'll experience some of that once I make that trek.
Just Uber. Just if you're going to Austin, just don't even worry about it. My wife and I went to a concert last week, and trying to park in Austin just brings out a side of me that I don't enjoy.
I get it.
I would say if you're ever going down there, just Uber or walk even. Just do what you got to do. You brought up 600 degrees. You said you're kind of liking some of the different areas.
Totally.
Let's say you're going to 600 degrees. You can take any one of the disciples out for lunch. Who are you going to take and why?
Wow. Any one of the disciples. I wouldn't take Peter because we're too much alike. I'd need to probably take Doubting Thomas. I'd love to hear what in his mindset causes the doubt.
Okay.
Like what it is that he struggles with in just stepping out in faith, being a part of a movement or a collective of people that really want to step out toward vision and experience big things. Kind of like I talk about the BHAG, the big, hairy, audacious goals, and that's something that drives me. Being around people where we get a chance to explain or kind of just talk about the big picture things, the big goals, where they need to kind of understand the why. They want to understand what it looks like to move from A to B to C. And I love those kind of conversations, just fleshing out on a napkin. Hey, here's what this could look like. And just dream with people and cast that vision to see what God could do. And so I like kind of the opposite of me. The world doesn't need another Korey Buchanan. It can't handle that. And so with that, I love the opportunity to dialogue with people that come at life with a little bit different perspective, different lens.
Well, I mean, if y'all are going to be writing something down on a napkin, there's no napkin like a 600 degrees napkin.
Right.
So,
I'm with
that's
you
the place
there.
to do it.
With you there, yeah.
All right, so you and Thomas hitting up lunch. We're gonna shift focus a little bit. What is the weirdest skill that you have?
Wow, that might be one of the more challenging questions I've had in a while. The weirdest skill that I have. Yeah. I'm going to go with there's a superpower of seeing the invisible, meaning there is a Japanese game show that's going on up here all the time. And if you know anything about Japanese game shows, that doesn't make a lot of sense. But I'm just telling you, the chaos of what's happening that makes sense to me, that others would look at thinking, I have no idea what's going on right now. It looks fun and painful, but something's happening. And for me, being able to take the pieces that can't get together, that is where I find my sweet spot. Seeing the problem, seeing the chaos, seeing just the big question and being able to navigate through that in a way that makes total sense. Now my struggle begins to be, how do I help other people see the total sense in the midst of it? And so for me, that I feel like God has really wired me in a way to look at challenges, look at conflict, look at things that a lot of people would say, I really don't enjoy that. I don't want to be a part of that. I embrace it. I think it's life-giving to me to find out how to find the pieces and fit them together in a way that people can say, I get it now.
Yeah. Okay. Like from a 30,000 feet perspective, like you're able to kind of see all the things, pull the threads together, kind of make the weird puzzle work.
Absolutely. I don't mind chaos from now to now. Being a dad of a special needs kid, you got to figure out at times what chaos looks like in managing it. And so you learn to speak some different languages in the midst of that, and you learn to interpret some things that might not make sense to a lot of people. But we have a lot of fun trying to understand what our oldest son is talking about sometimes. And so I just don't think there's that many problems that can't be solved. So, yeah.
A good answer there. I was gonna say I can whistle with my tongue. That was gonna be my weird skill. You have a great one.
Right. Well, the stupid human tricks. Like I don't know that I have any. Like I don't have it. It's all up here.
Yeah.
It's that game show that's just on overdrive all the time.
Japanese game show. I'm gonna think about that. I like that. Perfect. So you've passed all the tests. You've answered all the questions. You've done a super good job. We do have one more little challenge for you.
Okay.
You had your first sermon. Your second sermon here at the church.
That's right, yeah.
This past Sunday, kicking off your brand new sermon series. After that first sermon, I mean, I would say everyone here is super pumped about it. We definitely enjoyed it. But I noticed too, you had an object lesson. You brought out the, what do you
starting blocks.
The starting blocks.
Yeah. Starting blocks.
Having that something to just something that someone can relate to. They can look at that object and say, like, I know what that does. I know how that applies to this. it's helpful. And one thing we do all the time with the students in the youth group, some of the captains, if y'all are watching this, we would do these challenges with them sometimes, because whenever they go out and do BYBC each year, they'll share the gospel, but they'll use different objects and kind of show, do it with balloons and paper airplanes and paper catching on fire and all these crazy things. And so one way that we would kind of challenge the captains sometimes is we would just give them a random object and say, hey, here with this, tell the gospel story.
Sure, love it.
And so we're thinking, brand new lead pastor, what better way to bring you in? We're going to have you tell the gospel with a random object.
A random object. Now you're going to hit my creativity spot. Yeah. Oh, whoa. Love it.
We're going to test that whole Japanese game show.
Let's do it.
So we've got right here.
Fantastic.
Yes, we've got a little skateboard.
Yes.
Little rail.
Yeah.
Tell me the gospel, man.
So, man, I can totally look at this and pick up from square one. When I skated, when I was back in junior high and learning how to ollie, learning how to use the rails, things of that nature, what I recognize so much more frequently than pulling a trick off is what it was like to fall. And man, the times that I fell on my tailbone, I fell on my shoulders, and I beat myself up and recognized that every one of us falls short of the glory of God. Every one of us missed the mark in our life, and it demands that we recognize something's going to have to pick us back up. Something's going to have to make us whole. Something's going to have to bring healing in our life, and recognizing that free gift that Jesus Christ came to give us new life, it only comes through Him, but it's free. And man, I wasn't the best skater. I was with guys that knew how to ride the half pipe. They could do all the tricks. And just dropping in for me was terrifying. And so I recognized so often they were at their best when I was really at my worst. And that's the beauty of God. In Romans chapter 5, verse 8, really it demonstrates that while we were dead in the trespasses of our sins, Christ Jesus, He died for us. And it just paints the picture again of when we were at our worst, God was truly at His best. And the amount of times that I had to help to get up and recognize that, hey, I'm not the best in my crew, if that's what you want to call it. The guys I ran with back there, they could use these rails, and they could talk about it all day long. They live for it. But the idea of knowing how to help and just simply confess the fact I can't do this on my own, it taught me how to be able to rely on some other people to help me improve at what we were passionate about at that point in our life. The beauty of the gospel is that Christ never intended for it to be complicated. And He said it so clearly. If you confess with your mouth, you believe with your heart, Jesus Christ died, that He rose again, you confess your need for a Savior, it's so clear. It just says, and you shall be saved in Romans 10, verses 9 and 10. And so for me, I think the gospel is a picture that when you pick up a skateboard, I don't think there's many people that have ridden one of these that haven't found themselves flat on the ground. And especially when you add this to it. And when you mess up on one of these, it leaves a mark. All of us have a mark. There's kind of like a void, a hole in our heart that can only be filled with the gospel of Jesus Christ. And so as I look at this, man, if you want to be a great skater, if you want to be a great follower of Christ, you're going to have to recognize you don't get up on your own. But man, when you follow Him, man, He can do some pretty amazing things in your life.
I mean,
bam! Right?
Are y'all seeing this?
Bam!
Dude, that's our lead pastor, guys. That is our lead pastor, Korey.
Bam!
I gotta tell you, man, I believe. I'm a believer. You just gave me the gospel. I'm there. That was
there
perfect.
You go.
Thank you, man. It was a pleasure sitting with you.
Thank you.
And we'll see you on Sunday, man.
Look forward to it.
All right.
It's gonna be good.